YouTube, what's going on, and welcome back to another reaction video. Slipknot, we go on. Do we need to introduce? I feel like it's one of those bands, one of our consistent bands, we're always rotating them. I feel like we don't really need to introduce much here. We have Wait and Bleed today. I'm going to listen to it. It's from Slipknot, 1999, which had Spit It Out on it, which is the only other song we've done from this album. Is this the first album or the second album? Was this the first one and then Iowa was the second one, right? Am I right to assume that? Let me check. Okay, it looks like it. They've got some self-released stuff from before they were signed, I guess, but the first official album. We'll call it the first album. Yeah, Wait and Bleed. It's short and sweet, I've noticed. But then I think a lot of their earlier stuff was. I know Spit It Out was around the same sort of length. We've got the video again, because I enjoy their videos. They're nuts, so we're gonna listen to it. Wait and Bleed. Let's kick it. Ooh, light. We good? We major.
This song is called Wait and Bleed.
I thought the rise up and kneel down and clear the stone of leaves. I wander out where you can't see. Inside my shell I wait and bleed. I felt the air rise up in me. Kneel down and clear the stone of leaves. I wander out where you can't see. Inside my shell I wait and bleed. Goodbye, I'm living about time. The night is bright out this time. Everything is sweetly fast for me. My ears are red and gold. The air is standing straight up. This is not the way I picture me. I can't control my shakes. I don't know what I can hear. Something about this is very wrong. I have to live out loud. I wish I didn't like this. Is it a dream or a memory? I felt the air rise up in me. Kneel down and clear the stone of bliss. I wander out where you can see. Inside my shell I wait and bleed. Get out of my ear, 'cause I don't need this. Why did not say this?
It's a little bit.
I'm being so much every year, Kennedy.
A little bit tamer, maybe.
In my mind, jumping, taking your breath away. I felt the air rise up in me. Kneel down and clear the stone of bliss. I wander out where you can see. Inside my shell I wait and bleed. I felt the air rise up in me. Kneel down and clear the stone of bliss. I wander out where you can see. Inside my shell I wait and bleed.
It's a little bit to feel tame is a little bit the weird word to use. I mean, why do I look like I haven't slept in 3 days? It's a little bit, yeah. I'm mostly just comparing it to Spit It Out because it's the other song I know from this album. But compared to it's weird to call it that because it's still like heavy and angry, and the crowd's like headbanging and obviously they're headbanging as well. But it's still like it just doesn't. It's got a different energy, a different tone to it. It's got a different tone to it. It's a little bit more drawn, a little bit pulled back. We'll take a quick skim through the lyrics at the end. We'll keep going. Never mind.
You haven't learned a thing, I haven't changed a thing. The blood was in my bones, the pain went down with fire. You haven't learned a thing, I haven't changed a thing. The blood was in my bones, the pain went down with fire. I felt the air rise up in me. Kneel down and clear the stone of bliss. I wander out where you can't see. Inside my shell I wait and bleed. I felt the air rise up in me. Kneel down and clear the stone of bliss. I wander out where you can't see. Inside my shell I wait and bleed. Otherwise for
Short and sweet. It was quite short, yeah. Slipknot, not a fest in Mexico. They have their own little festival thing going on. Not a fest sounds a little bit cooler than Slipfest. Slipfest just sounds like there's lots of soap. I don't know what that. Oh, my mic fell over. Probably good timing. You didn't need to be hearing anything that of the shite I was spewing then. Wait and Bleed. Okay, good. Yeah, no, it was short and sweet. That's the one. It's short enough. I feel like I've listened to it a few times to really feel the impact of it. It was an interesting one because, like I said, I feel like it was a little bit more. I don't know. I guess a little bit more pulled back than something like Spit It Out, which is just bang, bang, bang. Here's a load of energy. But at the same time, it was still like really hard, so it had like a different tone to it. I think was I guess what they were going for. But That was good though. I'm just checking my mic. Okay, we good. I was skipping through the lyrics here because it's one of those ones where sometimes it's Slipknot, I'm not necessarily always listening specifically to the lyrics with these sorts of songs, which is not to say they aren't, because their lyrics, they're very good writers. Who wrote this one? I'll have a little look. Oh, it's got most of the band credited, because obviously they would have written their own instrumental parts as well. But yeah, they're very good writers. So it's not to say that element of it isn't there. It's just sometimes I prefer with this sort of song from them just to enjoy it for like the sound, I guess, the feel of it a little bit more. And yeah, some of the more angry stuff, despite the fact that they have very good lyrics to them, I feel, compared to something like, you know, Dead Memories or Before I Forget, where it's a little bit easier to follow, essentially. Even though he was singing in this one, but yeah, it looks like. I don't just want to sit here and read through the whole song because it gets boring. But I'm skimming through. And there's someone going through some sort of crisis. There's a quote from Corey. So the song's about that switch in your head that can go at any moment. You can go from being a civilized human being to being someone who can commit terrible acts. I've always been fascinated by the fact that we represent ourselves as civilized when at any moment we can become animals. And it's true, you know. People can snap and stuff. You know, normal people that it's like the whole. It's kind of like this is a similar concept to what American Psycho is based on. The idea that this dude is like, on the surface, well, sort of. I don't know. It's a weird one, but on the surface, I guess you look at him. It's like he's like a normal guy. He's a businessman. He wears a suit all the time and has a big businessy job. But he's a psychopath. But at the same time, I don't know. There's elements of like the what are they called? Business card conversation. Obviously, that's not normal. But you know what I mean? Like that. I guess that general sort of concept that people can snap. People can go home. You know, you see all these like, you know, people with like weird kinks or weird interests or people that do all this. And I watch a lot of like deep web stuff, and a lot of it is like you don't even know what's real. Like, there's a good channel called Some Ordinary Gamers, who I haven't watched for a while actually, like a good year or so. But he used to do videos where exploring the deep web. And obviously, he would never go too crazy deep because it gets to a point where it's like it just isn't safe. And there's a lot of stuff where it's like, you know, people talk about red rooms and stuff like that, and it's like there's no real conclusive proof that there are red rooms really out there. But at the same time, you can believe that there would be, just because why wouldn't there be? Sort of, it's just something that you could believe. There's so many people in the world, there's so much going on, but whatever. But those people, like the people who go into these places and like look at all this weird shit online, or even do weird shit online, or you know, that sort of thing, are people with lives and that live and function within the real world, and you don't even know, you know, what's going on behind the scenes. So then I wonder, this song maybe could be a little bit about schizophrenia. There's different elements to it. I guess there's one element of being like a normal person who behind closed doors does weird shit and you wouldn't know because they present themselves as normal. And there's an element, you know, you could look at it as like, oh, it's someone with schizophrenia that is normal sometimes, but then sometimes is like a flick switch and they're a psychopath. And that's like a mental health thing. But it looks like inside my shell I wait and bleed. Get out of my head because I don't need this. Why didn't I see this? I'm a victim. Manchurian Candidate? I don't actually know what that means. It's a book by Richard Condon. It's a reference to the novel. It's about a US citizen who has been conditioned into becoming an assassin for a conspiracy. The protagonist is as much as a victim of his environment as the Manchurian Candidate, in that they have both been conditioned to an alternate mindset. The protagonist has been conditioned to hate and despise everything in life, which is why he commits suicide. So I wonder if it's reference to a specific person who feels like they're trapped within themselves to the point where they themselves have been conditioned to be in this shitty position. I guess this is there's quite a little bit to unpack here. Actually, I don't know, because the reason why I'm trying to base it is because there was one before I even like listened to the video. I saw. There's like one person who describes it as, he says, it's about a man who has constant dreams of suicide by slitting his wrists. One day he wakes up and finds that dream is a reality. He tries to fall back asleep but realizes that he can't. This is it. He's finally done it. But another person talks about it being something completely different. That's what I said about schizophrenia and dissociative identity disorder. So this person talks about something completely different. So I feel like this is the sort of one where you could. It more acts as like it paints an image, I think, and you then use that image to develop on that with your own imagination and take maybe perhaps what you think it's about. It's quite. I think it's a little open to interpretation. Obviously the hook is, I felt the hate rise up in me, kneel down and clear the stone of leaves. I wander out there, you can't see inside my shell. I wait and bleed. With a song like this, I'm almost like, do I even bother with Genius? Because people are going to interpret it different ways, you know? It's something about an out-of-body experience. Really? Like it could be anything. That could be a reach, you know? It's hard to... Why people nail down songs into fake stories is beyond me. It could mean any number of things. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like this is not, it is what it is. I do think this is very open to interpretation. It could mean a lot depending on, you know, just I think let your imagination run wild with this one. It's a weird one, but it's a good one. I enjoyed it, and it was it's slightly different because it was like the older style of Slipknot, but still it was like quite singy. It's not a very good word there, but anyway, that's fine. So we'll leave it there. Thank you for watching. I hope everyone enjoyed, and we continue. I really do look like this is what happens when you get like 5 hours a night for a week, and then you have one night. I started to write 8 hours last night. But this is what happens when you have one good night of sleep. Good night is that it doesn't matter because it just that disrupts it even more than just doing another 5 hour again. Thank you for watching. Everyone enjoyed. I'll see you on the next video. Peace out, guys.